much. And for another news, Tshimologong Precinct's digital content hub partnership with Gence, Française de Développement and the French Institute of South Africa have renewed their partnership with a 7.2 million rand agreement in support of the creative arts and cultural industries in Africa. The agreement will launch a gaming incubator to grow and transform the South African game development ecosystem. The incubation program will offer training that allows startup gaming studios to develop commercially viable products and refine the entrepreneurial and technical skills, as well as see the fruition of the Fakogesi Festival, which has been supporting and celebrating the crossover of art, culture and technology in the Pan-African region since 2014. Now, for more on this, to unpack it, we're joined by the Tshimologong Precinct CEO, LesleyWilliams, in studio. A very good morning to you, Leslie.
Good morning, Leslie.
Thank you so much for coming into studio. Just going by, my intro there, this is a very important initiative, very important investment as well. Talk to me about why it's so vital.
Sure. So, firstly, AFD invested 14 million in Tshimologong Precinct to develop the digital content hub in 2018. So this takes the investment to well over 21 million rand. And I think what we are recognizing is that the digital creative economy is still firstly in its nascent form in South Africa, but there's potential. And, when we think about future industries and we think about job creation, we need to invest in these industries that have growth and start shifting the thinking from dying industries to emerging and where the youth want to play.
Yeah, and I mean, that's exactly what's happening right now. You look at the, NFT, cryptocurrency, and,
yes,
and the likes. 4IR is front and center of, yep, of development in the world at the moment.
Absolutely. And, I think for me, when we think about 4R, it seems quite out there. And this is where I'm also want to challenge both government and corporates to say that we have a lot of talent at home in South Africa. And this is very R&D, it's early stage, it's research and development. But when we only look at commercially ready projects, we are missing a gap and we're keeping ourselves behind when we don't have to. We have enough talent, we have enough skills. And I think what is often unknown is that there's a massive demand for African aesthetics in creativity. The world is calling for digital content from Africa, and we need to meet that demand.
We've seen with, fashion, how African fashion has become such a revered thing in the world. Speaking about the Fakogesi African Digital Innovation Festival that marries art, culture and technology, there's a lot of youngsters who might have arts and culture background or very much exposed to it, but not so much technology. How do you make that inclusive, and how important is it for that to become inclusive?
Sure. So if I look at some of the fields that Tshimologong touches on and Fakogesi Festival, it's animation, gaming, music, digital arts. That is literally content. It is content and it is technology. When you look at animation, that is technology. You need to understand how to code. You need to understand what software looks like. And quite often we separate these worlds around hardware, software, and content. And it's really where the blend comes together, where creativity spreads globally. Now, during lockdown, the fields that were able to continue working is animation and gaming. Now, Fakogesi was forced to go online over the last 3 years, and Fakogesi, in fact, launched in 2014, so it's been with us for a couple of years. Going online, we were able to attract far more players across the continent that said, hey, actually, I want to be part of this community. We had interest from Poland, from Egypt, from Turkey, that we didn't imagine for ourselves. Now, Fakogesi is really that place, like you say, where creativity and technology meet, but we also showcase what is possible with emerging technology.
Let's talk about the Digital Content Hub. It's got the Road to Animation initiative, which also, of course, speaks to everything that you've been saying. Just tell us about some of the victories that's come out of that and what that's about.
Sure. So if I may take a step back and share how it came about. So a couple of years ago, just spending time in a number of animation studios, academies across the country, we got to meet a whole lot of amazing talent. But the problem is that most of them were white male only. And when we have conversations with these young kids, they say they've been coding and developing since the age of 13. Now, at Tshimologong, we're very committed to inclusive innovation. So we launched an animation academy that brought amazing talent, a lot of them self-taught, a lot of them graduates from other animation academies. And we took them on this journey to learn pre-production, the skills of pre-production, and taking them through a process of really making sure that they're ready for studios. So when they're in our precinct, we'll actively go out to market and get production work. So a young person then learns how to work under pressure, under deadline with real customers. Where the road to Annecy comes about is we saw, well, there is talent in South Africa. So we invited some of the top studios. And when I say top, many of them are not recognized. And we took them to a point where they can pitch at Annecy International Animation Festival. This is where they're pitching on the world stage to some of the top studios.
Phenomenal.
So if you ask some of our successes, including my team, our founding art director resigned because he's making an original Disney film. We've got from my team as well as alumni who have full scholarships from Netflix to study in France at Gobelin, the top animation school in the world. But like I say, we've developed the confidence now. We've also done some pre-productions between South Africa and France during lockdown.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Well, let's talk about the plans for 2022 and beyond with the second phase of investment, pushing it to, as you mentioned, well over 21 million rand. And how do corporates get involved in this?
Sure. So, like I said earlier on, I'm constantly challenging corporates because they want commercially ready products, including the telcos. The telcos want to move beyond e-sport, but they don't have a strategy about where and how to enter video game environment. So in the past year and a half, we've convened industry players across South Africa and Europe to take us on a journey on what the industry needs, firstly. Secondly, we've done industry-led research. So we understand the gaps, and we know that corporates need to commit to investing in both the R&D, the early stage, and going on that journey with talent to take them to commercial development. Now, when they don't, the problem that we currently have keeps being re-emphasized. So a big gap right now is South African talent are moving to studios abroad. It's not that we don't have, it's just they're working for international studios, and most of them are leaving our country.
And that's obviously something that you don't want. It's a brain drain in the country. There might be a parent sitting at home watching right now thinking, my child has something when it comes to digital technology, and maybe there can be a play in that digital economy. How do they, first of all, spot and then get the children into perhaps a program at Tshimologong? And is there an age that you have to be?
So we have younger and younger people wanting to come into the program. So we are looking at Tshimologong about how to create exposure to those in high school already. Right now, our key focus is recent graduates to go into our game development program. So our game incubation program launches mid-year. And I encourage parents, in fact, parents WhatsApp me all the time saying the kid spends a lot of time gaming, can they develop a career? Absolutely, can develop a career. So follow us on social media, join our mailing list. The second part is around Fakigezi Festival. So that is when we expose them to some of the world's best. It is an expo, it is a platform where we, especially focusing this year, to doing more business matchmaking and business linkages. So just join the community, like whichever pathway, Fakigezi, Tshimologong's mailing list, we're constantly inviting players into the field. But like I say, our sturdy program we're launching is quite a high-tech game incubator.
Thank you so much for that, LesleyWilliams, with, the fourth industrial revolution, not even hot on our heels, but here, this really is an important conversation. The Tshimologong Precinct in Braamfontein in Johannesburg is where you will find it, but follow them on social media if you would like more details on that. Up next, in Remember This, on this day in 1993, Chris Hani was assassinated outside his home in Boksburg. We speak to the director of the Chris Hani Institute, Dr. Thembiso Bengu, regarding that and the celebrations planned for today. Stay with us.